Hello, everybody. Hello, ICN community. It is Coach Malcolm here. Today, I'm going to be doing something I haven't really done before. Sometimes you guys will have in your clubs, in the star room, you guys will have game analysis. I thought it would just be fun, a little different. Also just why not to watch some live games that are being played on League Chess, and particularly between Grandmasters, IM players, National Masters, FIDE Masters. I mean, you can see the titles sort of around here in this big screen of just pieces moving all over the place. I thought it would just be interesting to see these guys play it out live, guys and girls, anyone who's playing really. We can even look at some lower rated games if we're interested in that. And yeah, I just thought it'd be fun. It'd be something different to try out. So I don't really as much want to look at a bullet game. It gives us less time or me to talk about it and you guys to think about it on your own. But maybe we could just, we're just going to be sort of sifting through, I believe. Yeah, so I would click if we wanted to see any of these. So maybe we'll see some of the top blitz games that are going on, because 3-0 is better to be able to calculate. All right, so here we've got a 2700 versus a 2500. This could be a pretty interesting game to take a look at. Why don't we just, we're spectators for a little bit, but we'll also be talking about it. It looks like Black GM Avantage underscore RU, who's the higher rated player by about 200 points, a little less than 200 points, is up a pawn in this position, but still a very playable game. Because white does have the bishop here, which, this isn't the most open position that I've ever seen in chess games, so not necessarily the greatest bishop pair we've ever seen, but could be interesting. This bishop may head on to c4. All right, that's kind of what I was thinking about. Trading off a bit, I would assume knight takes, yeah, and that knight has a good spot on c4. The point of bishop d4 is to guard that b2 square that that knight was originally attacking b2. It's not anymore. It may be a bit laggy because it's trying to stream the game, and I'm streaming this video. Rook d7. Black has to be careful here of any threats because this rook has the 7th rank covered well. Rooks on the 7th rank, guys, we should know this. In the endgames are pretty deadly. Knight c4. I'm not sure if b4 was the best idea because knight c4 now is a super strong outpost. This is a dark squared bishop. And knight c4 is a light square, and now there's no b pawn to kick with pawn b3. And it looks like we can just go back for a second. Black may have just hung a pawn here, but h4, like I said, they have to be worried in that position. If black hadn't handled this situation, h5 would have been a huge problem. But now they're able to head on over to h7, trade off the pawns. Rook g8 is incredibly important. You got to guard this g7 square, particularly when there's two rooks attacking that square. I'm interested. h6 is interesting. Maybe they will try and attack it with bishop to d4. These players are better than me, guys. I can admit to it. But they played bishop e3 instead. It's a little hard to follow. They are playing relatively fast, but it's still, it's something. It's exciting, and it's cool to see really excellent players play out their games. This game will be done soon. We'll hop on to a new game and see what's going on. Okay, so white resigned here. Black is up 3 pawns by this point, and they're going to trade off for this bishop. If we check the analysis for it, obviously, especially if you're a 2700 rated player, once you trade that bishop off, it's 2 rook endgame. Let's just go to the very end. It's a 2 rook endgame. In this position, rook e2, I would assume. Yeah, just knight takes. They're going to not even trade off. I apologize. They just missed. I had the wrong phrasing. They just missed this fork. They're in a ton of trouble. They're going to be losing that piece, it looks like. And they already are up 3 pawns regardless. All right, let's go back. Check out some more GM level games. Yeah, because these games are interesting. These guys are playing at a super, super high level. It's kind of cool to watch that play out. So these are top games. So we're just going to be looking at top games for today. That seems fine. Let's see. Do we have any? This looks like a non-moving game right here. This game right here looks pretty interesting. We've got opposite colored bishops, obviously still the middle game position, 2400 and 2600. It looks like the material is equal though. But both sides launching an attack. You know, these pawns here trying to put pressure on this king. Maybe a c4 is coming. I'm sure black is trying to play c4. I hope so. That's kind of what I was thinking about. Maybe g4 is coming in for white, trying to put pressure on this h5 square, particularly because these are light squares. Maybe this bishop would be able to do some damage, but this bishop is not... Okay, well, the bishop... I was going to say it's not too well placed, but now it is taken on d5. It is in a better spot. We are lagging just a little bit. It looks like we are back now. I haven't heard of these players. I'm not sure. It's interesting. Yeah. I mean, it looks like white is spending quite a bit of time here. I don't know how smart of a strategy that is. Their clock is sort of ticking down. They're heading towards that 30-second mark. Rook takes d1. It looks like black has just won a piece. All right, so this is a kind of cool tactic. Bishop takes f7. Poison pawn right here. After rook takes d1, this king is obviously pulled away. If king moves to something like a2, rook's just going to take on f1. Rook takes, and now there's only one defender on that bishop that black is attacking 2 times, so black gets to pick up the bishop, but white has a pawn for it, and it is an endgame. They have 2 pawns for it. By this point, alright, but it looks like white has resigned. So let's take a look. What happened? They traded queens. Black took the pawn. So it's 2 pawns for a bishop. Definitely not super easy. I see. Okay, so white just fell into a bit of trouble. This rook d7 move, super good. Just taking squares from this king. Also pushing to b3, taking away the c2 square. And now we just have a mate in 2 puzzle after bishop h6. If this game were to be continued, white's only move, really only legal move in this position, if we have 1 second, is to play king b1 and then rook d1 is just checkmate. So well played by whoever was playing white. Some interesting Lee chess names. Alright, why don't we take a look at one more game, because I think, sometimes there's enough spectating you can do. But I think it's interesting. Alright, why don't we take a look at this IMFM game right here. 2500 versus someone almost 2400. Check it out from the white pieces. For this game, interesting. I guess we were checking it out. No, we were facing the black pieces last game, I believe. Yeah. Alright, so again, we have an equal position. Equal material, I apologize. Equal material. King's castle on the same side for this game, so not as much, full-blown pawn attacks, but still, guys, I mean, we have these pawns are definitely pushed out, but it looks like black is pretty safe. They've got their bishop kind of fianchettoed. I don't know if we still call it a fianchetto. This knight c5 is a great positional outpost, just attacking a lot of squares within the black position. Even though, there's not pieces on these squares, it's very, very annoying for black to be dealing with, of course. So now knight e6 is an option. I'm not sure. Okay, so white is going to play knight e6. I'm curious if they'll take on g7. They did. This guy is rated 2400. I'm sure he's probably got some more chess knowledge than I do, but it's interesting to me. Now they definitely do have a dark square bishop. Black does not, but I thought that knight c5 was a great outpost to hold on to. But we can look at that. We can see right afterwards in the analysis. Maybe the queen's going to guard this rook. No, rook e6. Touching on these weaknesses. 1 second. I apologize. Yeah. This game has a little bit more time once we checked in, right? They've got more than a minute, so that's kind of nice. Not as much of a rush. Clear threat here is taking on g6. Interesting. Pawn push f4. Is white not able to play rook takes g6 with check? Ah, I see. So maybe rook takes g6 with check. King h7, knight takes e5. Is this what black is thinking about? Knight takes e5 here. Well, it's white to move. So I guess if the bishop is saved with bishop f2, knight takes e5 is important to consider. But maybe rook takes c6 here is also interesting. You attack the queen. Maybe you take the knight. Okay. Ah, very smooth. Very nice. Very nice. Some slick tricks. Bishop f2. Good calculations. I didn't see this. Okay, black has resigned. Wow, very well played by I am Victor. 2-2, 2-2, 4-4. Let's just check this out. This is very cool. I think some of you guys definitely have the idea just from watching this video. You see what white just did. What I failed to miss and what the 2400 that he was playing, almost 2400, failed to miss. So the idea here was 95, of course, like I said, attacking this bishop on g6. f4 is a miscalculation. After rook takes g6, king h7. I believe what white was calculating was after bishop f2, knight takes e5, pawn takes e5, king takes g7 up in exchange. What is the problem, of course? The problem, okay, they want to play queen c2 first, but also you can just take this queen, and now this is just completely lost for black. So when black saw that bishop f2, pawn takes is attacking the queen, now the point is white is just going to be up a piece, up, they have an advanced, a passed pawn. Maybe they're going to play queen c2, queen d3, set up a whole lot of damage on this black king on h7. So black said, I'm playing at 2500 there, and I'm going to resign this game. I'm curious, last thing I want to look at is just a little ways back. I mentioned this knight e6 maneuver, and I'm curious what the engine has to say here. Knight e6, so white is up 1.7 here. It likes taking on g7, okay. Maybe just because knight c6, knight c5 is not as good as an outpost now. And I think also, now that I'm noticing, king takes g7, you take away that bishop, these squares are just a lot weaker, right? There's a lot more weaknesses, and we saw that in particular. Once this bishop got out of the way, our rook got to d6, just a lot of weaknesses. And once this f-pawn moved, then knight got into e5. So a good strategy by white, very well played game by white. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, I didn't have, this was just sort of an idea for a new video that I had, spectating some high-level games in real time. I thought it'd be interesting. I thought it was interesting. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys can tell me in the comments if you liked it or not, and we'll see if we'll make it a series or not. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.